Aside from the controversial decisions that Michael Masi made at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, Nicholas Latifi's crash was the next biggest thing to be talked about. Many believe that it was the Williams driver that started the domino effect on one of the most controversial endings in F1 history that cost Hamilton his 8th world title. There was a lot of anger and controversy after the finale, especially among the fans of Mercedes and their prize star Lewis Hamilton, who were in search of someone to blame for their controversial loss. And who do the fans take their anger out on besides Masi? Yep, that's it, poor Nicholas Latifi. In the aftermath of the race, Latifi would receive abusive messages and death threats that would later on compel him to hire a security team for his recent trip to London. When asked about the situation he's currently in, Latifi had this to say: "I'm no stranger to being talked about negatively online. I think every sportsperson who competes on the world stage knows they're under extreme scrutiny, and this comes with the territory sometimes. What shocked me was the extreme tone of the hate, abuse, and even death threats that I received. But many of the comments I received last week crossed the line into something far more extreme. Fans would have mixed reactions when the news broke that Latifi had hired a security team. He would later explain this at the Williams car launch event last week, where he would go on to say, "It might sound silly to some people, but at the end of the day, you just don't know how serious people are. All it takes is one drunk fan at an airport, or for you to bump into someone who's having a bad day and they're intoxicated, they're under the influence of something, and they have these really extreme opinions. It really just takes that 1 in a million person." And as for the other drivers, both Lando Norris and surprisingly Lewis Hamilton of all people have been so supportive of Latifi in his situation with the public. Hamilton has been a huge supporter and has personally been open with his battles with mental health in the past. Hamilton has made his support for Latifi known, as he did in an interview last Friday, saying, "We still have to apply pressure for them to make changes. Mental health is a real thing. I've been in touch with Nicholas. He has my full support and I know how difficult it can be in these situations. I think it's important for him to know that he can have support from the people around him." Latifi may be at arm's length from danger right now, but he has also conducted himself in a way throughout the situation that has been an inspiration to other public figures. Latifi has spent time looking for organizations that push the discussion about online abuse and mental health. Personally, since being back on my holidays, I've been looking at ways to try and do a bit more research. Not so specific on the mental health aspect, obviously mental health is the overriding theme though. So I've been looking at ways to get involved, looking at different organizations and whatnot, and there will be some things throughout the year I will be doing, but nothing to say or announce just yet. Latifi also believes that this is a problem that not only F1 drivers face, but every public figure will have to deal with at some point in their lives, and hopes that this will push the conversation about social media abuse and mental health to the forefront. Latifi would go on to say, "I think this is an issue irrespective and outside of drivers in any sport. It's going to be there, not even in sports, but in entertainment and the arts industry. Maybe in previous years it was a topic people didn't want to speak about, but it is one of the most important things in modern times, so I think it is important to be open to talking about these things." Do you think Latifi's comments were justified, and did he react appropriately? Let us know in the comments below and subscribe to DRS Zone.